data, we will update that data. So before that, let me show you what we are going to target, what we are going to do. I'll keep the example as simple as possible. So this is a Visual Studio project that I have already created, and let me start with running it so that we can see what we are going to build now. Our project will consist of a single input text box and a submit button. When the page is loaded, it will query the database for the data stored there. The data is going to consist of only one field, that is name. I have kept it as simple as possible so that it is easier to follow and understand. The name will be read from the database, and whatever is the value stored in the name, that will be displayed, pre-filled in this text box. When some editing is done, then the same data will be submitted to the server, and the new data will be stored into the name field of our XML database. So this is what is going to occur primarily, and let us see how we can do this. For this, you will create any Visual Studio project, create an empty Visual Studio project, and this folder I am deleting because I have already tested this, so I am deleting it, so forget about this. Create any empty Visual Studio project and add a page called index.cshtml, add a razor page called index, so you will get these two files added to your project. Let us have a look at the contents of these files. First of all, I'll take up index.cshtml, double click and open it. You see that the code is very simple here. This is the add page directive. This is the reference to the backing class. These are the tag helpers. These tag helpers, they are required for writing this input text field. This one that you are seeing, this is the submit button, and this is the form that is put around this text box. If you notice, ASP for is equal to my data.name. This is what I have used. This is two-way binding. So what happens is that in my backing class, I will have a property of the name my data, and of that property I will have a further property called name. This name is actually the data stored in the XML database, and my data will be the model, and in that model there is one property. I have deliberately kept it simple. There is only one property called name, and you can see here that this my data.name, ASP for my data.name, this will make a two-way binding to my name property, and when this button is submitted, any changes to the contents of this input, they will be sent back to the server, read in the on post. My data, this property will be read in the on post method, and the changes will be saved to the database. So as you must already be knowing that this all will work only if you have added this add tag helper. So this is the important part. Now let us come to see the contents of the backing class. That is the only thing that you will need. Index.cshtml.cs. I have made no other change to the project. So this is the project that this is the program that I have already created for you so that I can explain it. So let me start by explaining the various parts. These are the using directives that you can have a look, and the code is available on the blog page. You will get the code. This namespace directives, and then this is the backing class index model. In this index model class, we have a property called string path. This path property, this stores the path to your XML database. And how is it obtained? As we discussed in the last chapter on app_data, if you remember, we discussed there that we will need dependency injection for reading the complete path to the root folder, and from there we will construct the path to the XML file. Let me show you how this is done. So I'm scrolling it, and I'll scroll it to this point. You can have a look at here that this is the constructor. Inside this constructor, we obtain by dependency objection a reference to iWeb host environment. This env, this has a property called content root path. This property gives me access to the root to full path of the root directory of my project. And you can see that mpath, I concatenate the root to db folder, the folder that will store my database. This is the name of the folder. So first of all, I get the path to my folder, and if this folder doesn't exist, I will create a directory. Although this is not recommended that you make this check on every single hit, but since this is a small project, I just made it for convenience here. Usually this folder will already be created, and it need not be checked on every hit that you obtain for your